As I've said before, I have what I like to call good old boy taste buds, meaning I love cheesy, greasy, comfort food. As a matter of fact, two of my favorite foods growing up was mac and cheese and cheeseburgers. So when I decided to lose weight and I began to play around with high protein recipes, one of the first ones I made was my cheeseburger mac and cheese. It's extremely high in protein, it's really easy to make, it only takes 10 minutes from start to finish, and I can make a big enough batch of it in that 10 minutes. It's actually a meal prep, and I'll have 4 meals throughout my entire busy week. So if you're looking for some greasy comfort food that's high in protein and helps you hit your macros, let's get started. Welcome back to Former Fat Guy Fitness. I'm Tyler, your former fat guy, and as always, let's start with the ingredients you'll need. What you're gonna need is 212 grams or 1 box of chickpea pasta shells, 482 grams or 17 ounces of a 93 lean ground beef, 226 grams or 8 ounces of Velveeta 2% cheese, 230 milliliters or 1 cup of fat-free Fairlife, 140 grams or 5 ounces of cut up white mushrooms, 80 grams or about 3 ounces of cut up white onions, and 100 grams or about 3 baby pickles all cut up and diced up as well. Outside of the ingredients, you only need a few things of equipment. You'll need a medium pot to boil your noodles in, you'll need a pan to sear your meat up in and cook your onions in, and then I would recommend a double boiler to melt your Velveeta cheese. It just makes it easier. It prevents things from burning to pots or pans, but if you don't have a double boiler, you don't need one. You can just throw your Velveeta cheese in with the noodles once everything's all done cooking. And as always, if you need anything here, links are in the description down below. It helps the channel if you check it out. The first thing you're going to want to do before you get started is take your Velveeta cheese and half of your milk, put it in the double boiler, and turn that to a low heat. It's going to take a little bit for that to melt, so that's the very first thing I do before I even get started. Just put it in, let it slow cook, do its thing, come back and stir it every now and then. Once you get finished up with that, you'll want to turn your pot to a high heat and you'll want to turn your pan to a high heat as well. You're going to want to let your water boil before you do anything else. While you're waiting for that, you could cut up your ingredients. Since I'm filming at the same time though, I went ahead and did that ahead of time. You'll want to cut your mushrooms up into thin pieces and then I cut them in half. And then you're going to want to dice your onions up and then dice up your pickles as well. Once your ingredients are all cut up and set to the side, make sure you wash and rinse your mushrooms. I mean, they are grown in crap, so anytime you're dealing with mushrooms, wash and rinse them. But while I'm waiting for the pot to boil, I'll go ahead and do the meat. I'll throw the onions in the pan and let them sear for about a minute or two. Just want to get the onions a little bit browned up. But then once that's finished up, I'll throw the meat in on top of it and just kind of crush it up and slow cook it over about a 5-minute period or so. I will season it with some pepper, some salt, some onion powder, some garlic powder, and because I like a little bit of kick, I'll throw some ancho chili in with it. But you're just going to grill that up till it's all brown. Once that's done, set it aside. While you're cooking everything, just come back to your cheese on the occasion and stir it. You want to be able to make sure it gets all mixed in with that milk so it's that good cheese sauce you're looking to make. But once your pot finished boiling, you're going to take your noodles, pop them in, and you're just looking to get to al dente. You don't want to cook them too much. You don't want to get that mushy gushy noodle. So read your box. Mine is, I believe, 8 minutes. I'll cook it. Once it's done with that, I'll throw it in the strainer. When you throw your noodles in the strainer, hit it with some cold water so it stops cooking. You don't want it to continue to cook to get mushy and gushy. After you have the noodles all strained out though, and they've been rinsed where they stop cooking, you've got the meat cooked, you've got the cheese all melted, take all your ingredients now and just put them in the one pot. Put your noodles back in the pot, put your meat in the pot, put your cheese in the pot, add in your pickles, add in your mushrooms, and let it cook for about a minute or two. Once everything's mixed together in the pot and it's sat for about a minute or two to let the pickles and the mushrooms warm up, you're done. Just divide it amongst your 4 meal prep containers and you've got 4 cheesy comfort meals for the entire week lined out. So I'm gonna get this all finished up, get it divided in my meal prep containers, and then we'll go over the macros. And boom, cheesy comfort food, just like that, my favorite. For the final tip on this recipe, you'll notice I saved half of the milk and the ingredients for the very end when I added the pickles and the mushrooms in. I do this to make my cheese sauce a little bit runnier, a little bit juicier, but if you like a thicker cheese sauce, just use half the milk. Play around in here, experiment, make things how you like things to be. As far as the macro breakdown goes, on the entire batch, it's 2,046 calories, 167.4 grams of carbs, 71.3 grams of fat, and 208.2 grams of protein. If you divide it into 4 servings like I do, it's 512 calories for each of them, 41.9 grams of carbs, 17.8 grams of fat, and 52.1 grams of protein. So 10 minutes, 4 meals, 500 calories each, over 50 grams of protein, and like I said, it's good old boy food, cheesy, greasy, comfort. If you try this recipe and you like it, hit the like button down below. If you have anything else you want to see made high protein, let me know in the comments. If you want to help the channel out, see more recipes out of me, or just general fitness advice overall, hit the subscribe button. But in the meantime, it's my favorite part of the video. It's time for lunch. Thanks for watching.